Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're going to be looking at the patch notes preview for patch 13.11. So, as always, if you enjoy the content, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out a ton on the channel. Come by, check out the stream. I'm starting around 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time most nights. I might even be able to start a little bit earlier, around 9 or 9:30. We'll see. I'm kind of getting into my summer schedule, my summer groove here. But we'll be out there streaming most nights, so come by, hang out, chat. You're welcome to talk about anything you want to. It doesn't just have to be League of Legends. You can talk about your day, talk about Total War Warhammer, talk about some great new philosophy that you read, whatever you want to talk about. We're happy to hang out and chat with you. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started here. So this is going to be, looks to be a pretty big patch, not quite as big, obviously, as 13.10, but they are making a ton of changes here. I might still do an 80 carry tier list. I did do the support tier list. This was a couple of days ago. But I figured I would go ahead and just throw this out there because this is what I'm getting asked about the most because this is, upcoming content rather than something that's been out for a week. So let's take a look, see what they have going on. Okay, so Q damage on Akali is up a little bit. I don't know. I feel like mages in general are in a pretty bad spot. It feels like almost every item in the game got changed except for mage items. That's not like 100% accurate, but it felt like mages really just kind of got overlooked a lot on this. And they said that was by design, that they wanted to do the mages a little bit later. But at any rate, Akali, sure. I mean, I think Akali, if she's balanced right, can be an interesting champion if she doesn't one-shot. But in general, I think that mobility is good. It's just there needs to be skill involved in the mobility. I think that's, one of the biggest problems. And a big issue with mobility as well is it's oftentimes it can be both defensive and offensive if champions have a lot of mobility. So mobility is fun. I think it allows for interesting outplay moments, but it's very difficult to balance it correctly. So high mobility needs to come with a very high opportunity cost, such as lower damage. Typically, I think is fair. So she needs to hit a lot of stuff. In my opinion. So I would err on the side of increasing her energy. I mean, I'm not an Akali player, but just increasing her energy or lowering her cooldowns or just like allowing her to cast more spells more frequently rather than giving her more burst damage. But I guess this is maybe in the spirit of not only obviously damage to champions, but giving her a little bit better wave clear. Okay, so in general, I think she can be a very interesting champion. But, obviously difficult to balance. Okay, Azir, Q cooldown is down 2 seconds early, so they're reverting some of these changes, which obviously I think is cool because Jason likes to play Azir a lot, but Azir is another champ that I think is interesting to have in the game. He's fairly unique. There's a lot of outplay potential with him. You just have to kind of watch out for pro play, and that's been the difficult balancing act is like, how do we make him like playable for people that are under masters but not broken in pro? And I mean, since they nerfed him out of pro, you've seen all kinds of degenerate stuff, in my opinion, degenerate stuff like melee tanks middle and top, at MSI. So stuff like Azir helps keep those things in check, at least in theory. So I would like to see him back in the meta. AP ratio on the W is a little bit higher. Range on the W. Summon range, not attack range. I'm pretty sure they nerfed the attack range on the soldiers a while ago. Like a few patches ago. But yeah, this is good. I don't necessarily think it's going to put him over the top and make him like S tier again in pro, but it's some good stuff for the early game to kind of help him out there. Ivern, okay, Q logic adjusted. I don't know what that means. W on hit damage applies to allies. Enemies in brush revealed. Wait, okay, I was actually saying this for a while, if this is what they're actually doing, if I'm reading this correctly. So, if your allies step in the bush, then they get that W damage. Actually, I haven't read all of these in their entirety before doing this video. So it's kind of my live reaction. Because that's what I was saying. I was like, if they want to make him like an interesting support, they need to have his W actually buff allies. So that's a really cool thing. Because right now, this is so niche. Like, it's a cute ability, but Ivern just doesn't interact that well. Like, you can auto attack some with the bush, but especially because they just gave him range anyways on his autos a while ago. Like, it does provide vision, which is cool, but I was like, they need to give this like a buff to allies, or they need to give it where it like reveals wards, which would probably be too OP, but just something to make it more useful. And so I think this is fine. I think this is great. So when they're in the brush, they get this extra on hit damage. It still has a really long cooldown. Um, Now, in certain places, you could get quite a bit of brush if you use multiple brush, but that's cool. And it's only 30 on hit, which is still like good, but you can get it up to 60. But then you're giving up your shield, which is what you would want to max. But yeah, I like that. It's a nice way to just make his W a little bit more relevant in more situations. E refreshes if no enemies are hit. What does that mean? Autos no longer... Okay. Autos no longer whatever. That's Callista, I'm pretty sure. Total AD, yeah. Okay. So Ivern is just Q logic, jump logic adjusted. Okay. So maybe that means that ranged don't go in as far when they take it. I'm not sure. Enemies in brush revealed. I thought it already did that. I thought it already gave vision. I don't know what this E refreshes though. Like this shield? So it'll explode, but if allies aren't there, then it gets an extra 2 seconds or something. Does that mean it's up to a 440 shield if it doesn't break? That seems odd. I'll have to see that in action. Okay, Callista. But I like, in general, buffing up Ivern, especially the possibility of him being a support. It's just like his passive is just kind of weird, where it's like, you can't use it a lot as support, but... Okay. Autos no longer miss when targets leave vision. Okay. AD on attack goes up to 100%. That's pretty huge. That's actually very big, because if she has 200 AD, which is not uncommon, like in the mid game, then you're getting an extra 20 damage per auto attacks. That's a lot. Base AD and AD growth is going down. Okay, so he's starting off with 5 less, but the total AD, so you only need 50 AD in order to make up for that 5 loss, which you'll have that level 1. Okay, so it's basically saying you're not going to be that much stronger at level 1 and like really early levels from that ratio change on your passive, but you're going to scale a lot better. And I think that's great, because historically that's been one of her major problems, is that she just has a hard time scaling into late game. Q plus E damage increase to compensate for base AD changes. Okay. I don't know what compensate means. Increase. Okay, so it's... Okay. So stronger, higher base AD, and the cooldown on your E, which is your rend, is 10 seconds. That's pretty huge. You can trade more comfortably with that now. I mean, the way people would trade before, I think, with it, is you would have, like... You would go, like, get a minion really low, and then you rend a person, and you rend the minion, and then it kills the minion and resets the rend after you do it. You get some damage on them, you get a slow on them, and then you can stick it again and then rend them again. I think, again, I'm not like a Callista player, but... Okay. But the E cooldown is nice. Tremors. Every 1 second, I guess, it ticks to see where somebody is. Okay. The passive heals for some amount. Okay. Q goes down a little bit. Q reveal duration. That's fine. I think Rek'Sai's really underpowered right now. So I don't really fully understand what all that means, but good. If it brings her a little more into the meta, that's cool. Okay. Renekton. E cooldown is down a little bit. RCD is down at later ranks. Okay. R damage per second is up quite a lot at later ranks. Okay. I mean, I don't think Renekton's a super, like, interesting champion per se. But sure. He's probably having a hard time because he doesn't. I don't think he has a lot of, like, percentage damage or true damage in his kit. I might be misremembering that. So, like, he's good early as a bully but falls off, but I think that's intended. Twisted Fate, the W cooldown is 6 seconds at all ranks. That's probably fine. I think Twisted Fate's a little underwhelming right now. I know he does have the global, and, you know, I know Apto's famous for using him to get to Challenger and all that stuff, but I think he could use a little bit of help. Okay. Champion nerfs. Aurelion Soul. Mana is up. Okay, I don't remember. I think that's one of his... I mean, everything wave clears, I guess, on him. But that's like his little circle thing is higher. Okay, so it's just trying to make it a little bit more difficult early on for him to wave clear, I'm assuming. And the E AP ratio per second goes up a little bit. Okay. So just it looks like trying to hit his laning phase a little bit. I guess that's fine. I don't think Aurelion Soul's super OP right now after the most recent nerfs, but... that's okay. W base damage per second. 14? From 20 to 14? That's a huge nerf, right? I mean, I know he's got the percentage max health, too. Is Amumu that much of a problem? I mean, I guess he almost always has a high win rate at, like, gold and lower. Okay. Sure. Aphelios Q AD per rank is down a little bit. Does that matter? It's like half an AD early, I guess. And Jinx attack speed growth. Who cares? It's like 1%. I mean, so much of that comes from items anyways. And lethal tempo. Fine. I don't think Jinx is really that OP right now compared to a bunch of other champs. Like, she looks OP if she gets ahead and gets resets in fights, but... I mean, she is so easy to gank a lot of times. Like, she's good. I just don't know that she's, like, really OP. But this is just kind of a slap on the wrist. I think. Her win rate's not, like, phenomenal overall either. Rel midscope. This is so annoying. I complain about this all the time. Just put it in everything in a central location. Why do you have all these random rioters on their personal accounts, like, saying stuff? First of all, it's confusing to find. Second of all, it's just going to create less traffic, and it's bad for the algorithm to have all these things in one place, or, like, in all these different small Twitters instead of one place. Like, I literally typed in Twitter Riot Raptor trying to find this for the Rel thing, and everything I clicked on is not that guy because he's so freaking small that I can't find him. So I don't even know how to search this. There might be some way to search it. Oh crap, what did I do? But, like, they don't have a link to it. Like, they just say, see him right here. I mean, like, it should be easier if I want to know, hey, that sounds cool, Rel rework. What is it? I can't. Like, it's really annoying and difficult to find it. Like, I tried to look up Riot Raptor, and it just, none of these are it. So, I don't know what it is. I guess we'll have to find out. But yeah, they need a centralized page for everything related to League, balance, and updates. Why is, like, a page like Surrender at 20 historically better than the company's own page at this stuff? I don't understand why that's difficult to do. But anyways, so I don't know. Rel does need some help. She's kind of an interesting champ, but it's been sort of difficult to balance her. She was really good on release. I think she was getting played in pro, but I think a lot of it is just the movement speed when she's dismounted is just absolutely, like, horrible. So I think just either getting rid of that or, like, finding some better trade-offs. But I think the whole, like, you go for your stun, like your AoE stun, and then all of a sudden you're basically not a champion after that for however long. It's just kind of awkward. Okay. System buffs. Dustblade is going up a little bit for the extra damage. Okay. I guess that's fine. I think Assassins are pretty strong right now. Really kind of surprised not to see a Kha'Zix nerf, because he's played all over the place at MSI, and he has a really high win rate and pick rate in solo queues, so that's a bit odd to me. And then Kraken Slayer is going from magic damage to physical. This is probably a good thing. I just think that there's just too much like emphasis on magic damage on like auto attacks from ADCs. Like a little bit of mixed damage is okay, but it just makes it really weird to itemize for tanks, and it makes armor penetration kind of awkward. Yeah, I just think it was kind of odd. Okay. Makes it difficult to like really get a sense of like damage balance in team comps and things like that too. So 20 plus 60% AD goes to 65% total AD. So higher ratios and higher base from 35. 35 to 85 is a lot. That's a huge buff, right? I mean, the fact that it's physical, it's like, okay, they can get armor against it now. But that's a lot, like 35 to 85? That's like 4 times as much damage at later levels, not including the extra scaling. Okay, yeah. Seems good. Moonstone Renewer, this is just a goofy item. I just don't understand how this is supposed to differentiate from Echoes of Helia that well. I mean, I know Echoes, like, you have to actually deal some damage in order to get the heal, but it just feels like that's so much more effective a lot of times than Moonstone. It's like, I don't know the stats, but it feels like Soraka is maybe the only champ in the game that would buy this, and it doesn't do anything that interesting, right? Like, I wish it was like an activatable or something like that. Like you could activate it and then your heal starts chaining or something for a certain amount of time, and it's like more powerful. Something like that. I don't know. Just like the passive, like, is that's basically just plus healing and shielding, right? So it's pretty much like you're getting 20% plus healing and shielding or something as a stat on a mythic item. It's like, because the chain heal doesn't matter as much. Now, what they could do also is increase the amount that's chained, but make the single heal, like, you do not get any benefit off of single heal. Now, that would clarify, hey, this is for team fights. Like, this heal bounces, even to say that it, like, bounces to, like, up to 3 targets or something like that. Like, just to clarify, this is for 3 to 5 target fights, and it's really, really good at healing. And that's what it does, right? And then Echoes of Helia, they could say, alright, this is much better for skirmishing, for smaller fights where you're putting up damage, and you just want to put out damage and put out heals. But right now, there's just no reason, if you're a champ, like 90% of champs that would want something like that, you're just going to get Echoes, if you just want increased, like, enchanter stuff. Okay, Quick Blades. Ability, or AD is up, ability haste is down. That's a little awkward, ability haste being down. That doesn't really fit the theme of the item, but okay. And then the Mythic, you're getting 5 AD. I think that's good, because the ability haste just sucks as a Mythic passive. So the 5 AD is much more meaningful, especially for an item that's designed for like 80 carries. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it needs that much of a buff. I think people just aren't building it enough on champions that are really, really good with it. Okay. Static Shiv is getting 20 more proc damage early on. That's massive. And then it's scaling up to 90. Okay. And then minion damage is up to 250%. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I think that's good. Give it a little more, because not a lot of people are getting that. I don't think there are some people, but it is an interesting, wave clear / team fight item. I think it should do less damage to single targets than something like Stormrazor, but I think it should do more damage in team fights, significantly more damage. And of course, it's got the wave clear component. Okay, Ardent Sensor is 20% at all levels. That's probably fine. It was a little over the top. Um, just at being a 2100 gold price point. Just put ability haste on it though, man. Just give it 10 ability haste in addition to whatever else you need to balance around it. Okay. Echoes of Helia, damage per shard K is 30 more damage? Wait. Okay, no, the damage per shard is, okay, maxing out at 180. That's still way too high. Okay, it's only scaling from 6 to 18, though. So, the math on that's really weird, but that's going to be significantly lower, I think. And then, the healing is down a little bit. Put a cooldown on it. 6 seconds per target. Just like Mandate. Boom, problem solved. I think that'd be a lot better, but it's fine. I mean, it's a good item. I don't know that it's like super over the top. All the all caps videos show all these weird interactions with it. It's okay. But yeah, it probably does need to be nerfed. It needs that timer though. Runin's Hurricane on hit, 15 damage. I don't see hardly anybody getting this item except for the people who already got it, and I don't feel like they're really like hard popping off now. I mean, let's see. So, like, Cog can get it. Cog probably will get it, right? And he's doing alright right now. But he does have other options, too. Like, you can just do, like, Runin's Kraken, Blade the Rune King is probably just as popular, if not more popular. Twitch might get it. Twitch is pretty much locked into. Like, Twitch is gonna get it. I mean, who else? Like, Jinx? She's got 51%. I'd venture to guess a lot of the time she's not even getting it until, like, maybe third item. Zeri? Okay, but she's 50%. It's like 3 champs that get it. So I really don't understand. And most of them do not have a high win rate, with the exception of Kog'Maw. But again, he does have other options as well. So anyway, I don't really understand the Runin's nerf, but sure. Okay, Gale Force. This item's just, like, really dumb. It should not do, like, extra execute damage, scaling, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but the active does a little bit more damage. Maximum execute damage, okay. Youmuu's Ghostblade. So Gale's still going to be good. People are still going to get it for the same reasons they currently get it. They're just, like, knocking down the scaling a little bit, which I think is appropriate. But the base damage is the same. Cooldown's the same. All the other item stats are the same. Youmuu's bonus lethality is going 3 to 12. Okay. And then haste is down a little bit. Distance per stack. People are saying this is going to, like, totally kill this item. Like, nobody can get this item anymore. I feel like it was over the top and needed a nerf. I don't know if it needs this much of a nerf, like a triple. But, I mean, when people say unplayable, it's like, dude, it's 5 AD early. Or 5 lethality early. Like, that does matter. But 8 to 12 bonus lethality on an item that already has really high lethality. Doesn't it already have, like, 20? Or some crap on it? 18. Yeah, I mean, these people that are complaining about this, no, I think it's definitely nice for an item to have 30 lethality as soon as you purchase it. Like, because, I mean, this is going to be, like, your all-in to most fights. And it's going to take you, what, 25% more time to stack it up. I don't play champs that get this items. I don't have a sense of exactly how long it takes you to stack this up, but it's already 100% gold efficient, including the lethality stat, which is notoriously turbo undercosted. It has been, and they've just never nerfed it. Like, you're basically paying, like, 5 gold per point of lethality or something to cancel out eventually 1 armor, which is 20 gold worth of value to purchase. So lethality is just an absurdly cheap stat to begin with. It's incredibly powerful. And now you're getting movement speed, you're getting additional movement speed for free out of combat, and you're getting like all of this extra damage over time. So I think unplayable is a really strong word. I think people are still, this is still going to be a good item. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think it's still going to be good. And Storm Razor is getting nerfed. I think this item's really overrated to begin with. I don't understand. People love to go like Storm Razor into Infinity. I think a lot of people are overlooking BT for the laning phase. Yeah, it doesn't have attack speed on it, but like 18% lifesteal is huge. And you don't get proc damage, but you get 10 extra AD on BT to start with, and eventually later on in the game you're going to get like 30 or 40 extra AD. So the build path is more obnoxious. Like, that's the nice thing about Storm Razor is it builds out of a bunch of long swords like Noon Quiver. You know, it's just a lot easier on your back timings. But okay, they're nerfing it, so it's going to energize damage is 15 and 60% of your total AD. Okay, so that's gonna nerf it by like 20 in the early game, which is pretty significant. So I guess it's like a nerf to early trades, and it's losing 5 extra AD. So we'll see. Like I said, everybody's building this, so they're not really sure what to build first. Maybe people do Storm Razor. Storm Razor has like 45 AD on it, right? Static Shiv. I think it has 45 AD. I think a lot of people are not like should be getting this item that aren't doing it. I think it's pretty aggressively cost. Yeah, it's 100%. I mean, it's not like insanely good, but 60. So it is doing like a little bit less proc damage. But will it after this though? Early on, like this is 15 plus. So if your total AD once you complete this item is like 100, might be a little bit more than that. You're going to be getting what, like 75 proc damage off of that if it's like 130 or something AD. I mean, this is 60 to 70. Like, that's pretty close. And, of course, it splashes and can hit multiple targets. So in a team fight, you're hitting 2 people for that amount. So it's definitely more if there's more than one person close to each other. And it has wave clear. More attack speed. About the same amount of AD now. It's going to be 50 on Storm Razor. It's the same cost. It's a similar build. Crit strike. So it's got 10% more attack speed also. You do get the little bit of bonus movement speed. I think people are just going to build Static Shiv off of this. Now, it can't crit or anything, but I don't know. It seems like that should be a change to me, or BT maybe. But anyways, I got to get out of here. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. As always, I appreciate it. I think these are mostly good changes. Some of them are head scratchers, but it's probably good for the game. I think very few of these are moving like in a totally wrong direction. There are a few things that again they aren't touching that probably should be touched. Kha'Zix, Cog has a high win rate. Janna and Sona have a high win rate. But I guess they're trying to see if, like, adjusting Kraken, adjusting, some of this other stuff, Ardent, Helia, and Moonstone will change it. So, we'll see. But overall, I think the game, a lot of people complaining, I think it's fine. I think it's okay. I personally have not done very well in this patch, but I think that's just because I just haven't been playing that well this week. But hopefully we'll be able to step it up. I don't think it has a lot to do with the itemization. But anyways, that's it. Thank y'all very much. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time.